Representing the large Killebrew contingent here tonight, please give a warm welcome to Harmon's wife, Nita Killebrew. Anita, how are you? Good.
The first thing Harmon would say would be, wow, all this just for me. The second would be to say, thank you all for being here to honor me. I would like to thank the Commissioner, Bud Selig, Dave St. Peter, Jerry Bell, Jim Polad and his wife, Bill Smith, and so many others for taking the time out of their busy schedules to personally visit Harmon in the hospital and at home. He was so thrilled and touched that you would travel all the way to Arizona to see him. Thank you to the ball players who called him daily and came to visit him at home. It meant so much to have his brothers of the game keep him in their thoughts and prayers. I extend a special thank you to his close friends who held him up daily by helping me with everything imaginable. Special visits, sitting with him through long chemo sessions, or helping me move him out to the patio, where he loved to sit, chat, or just enjoy the natural beauty. And mostly, I want to thank our children and our grandchildren who understood and respected his need for privacy and kept him wrapped in their loving arms and comforted him daily, whether by their presence or by phone. A very heartfelt and thank you to Wilma and Carrie, who are family friends who are also happen to be RNs, who gave up weeks of their time to come in and help me nurse him. And finally, a really big thank you to Kelly, Diane, Dave, and Jeff, who helped me deal with the outside world. Harmon's last days were filled with a house full of children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and friends. The night before he passed, he watched the video tributes from the ball players. He watched the David Letterman show again. When we put in the Letterman tape, Harmon quickly awoke to Charlie Pride singing, and he watched it for a while. Harmon loved hearing the laughter of everyone. He was comforted when he cried, and he was in loving arms of everyone he loved, present or not. I don't know how I could have made it without our children. Harmon used to say, we have 9 children, and not an ugly or dumb one in the bunch. They are 9 incredible young men and women who have risen to the occasion and made their dad very proud. Cam is the new patriarch of this patchwork family. You have stepped up to the plate like a major league player and represented him with his same stoic presence and firm composure, even when your heart was breaking. My love and respect for you has only grown. I hope I can do as well for your father tonight as you have been doing for the past 5 months. Standing before a public crowd is certainly not my forte, but I promised Harmon that I would try to do this. He was determined to make a public speaker out of me, but whenever he went to introduce me, he would laugh and say, "That's my wife, Nita, in the back of the room." Today, sweetheart, I want to make you proud. And just maybe, you will turn to Kirby Puckett and say, "Hey, Puck, what do you know? Maybe she is coachable after all." 21 years ago, when Harmon and I married, he had been very, very ill with recurring stomach and esophageal problems. The doctors were not hopeful that he would survive a complex surgical procedure or the recovery. Time wasn't on our side, so we took him home and we had the children and grandchildren come to surround him with their love. Each day he became stronger and stronger. He surprised his doctors by making his 3-week checkup. Time and again, over the next few years, Harmon would amaze his doctors, each time coming back as the long shot and winning the race. Each time he would say, "There is a reason that I am still here. I'm supposed to do something significant, something meaningful, and something greater than baseball." Now, hearing that from the lips of a Hall of Fame baseball player was truly amazing. How could there be anything greater than baseball? Shortly after one of Harmon's health setbacks, David St. Peter brought Harmon back home to Minneapolis. Harmon at that point could not travel alone, and I would accompany him. What I saw happen was truly miraculous. With every Twins fan that stopped him in the airport or on the street or at the stadium, Harmon's strength grew exponentially. With every autograph that he signed, and he signed many, with every expression of love from a fan, his face would light up more and more, and his body healed at an amazing pace. He knew that you, the fans, were healing him, and he never forgot that. He would happily pose for photos or stop and give autographs at any time. You, the fans, Twins players and staff, friends, and loved ones, provided the incredible healing power he needed to win one more time, and he never forgot. Now I, his wife, need to thank you for giving me 20 more years with this beautiful man than what was expected. 20 wonderful years I would not have had without your love and passion for baseball and your humanity in reaching out to touch his life at the right time when it meant so much to him. Harmon taught me so much over the past years. He continued to teach me through his final game with life. During this last 5 months, Harmon would first read every email, get well card, note, and letter written to him. He signed thank you cards and made sure I responded personally to each one. And he would always say, "This is so amazing. I'm overwhelmed at all this outpouring of love." He was truly humbled, and tears would fill his eyes. These are not just pretty words. They are simply truth. He had me write notes when he would think of things he wanted to say to you, his fans, just in case. So many beautiful words he wanted me to share with you and express his gratitude. Harmon was both teachable and coachable, unlike his wife, and learned and lived valued lessons from family, friends, and his fans. He made up his mind as a young man what his first passion was to be, playing sports, especially baseball. He also knew it was his duty and purpose to love others, and he loved unconditionally, with a passion equal to that for sports. He shared fully and completely what he felt in his heart. He would often say, "There are no entitlements in life. Even love is a gift. You need to be thankful for it every day." And he did cherish every word spoken to him or kind gesture made to him on his behalf. The kids and I often heard him say, "Everyone is special and deserves to feel special. Even on your bad days, and especially on your really, really bad days." Harmon was truly gifted at making people feel special, no matter what kind of day he was having. Harmon left each of us something inside our hearts. Each little tidbit is a gift of his time, of his laughter, of his compassion, sometimes a gift of helpful advice, a strong restoring hug, or simply a warm handshake, or a firm handshake, as grandson would say. each gift nourished by a continued and very consistent example. He equally received those same gifts in return from each of you, and he was always, always grateful. His parting challenge to each of us, if we were teachable and coachable, would be what we, his family, have heard many, many times. Always remember who you are and never forget where you came from, and always treat others the way you want to be treated. Harmon was genuinely a true gentleman. Even at home, he always kept his composure. He never lost his temper. Okay, once, when I told him he needed a hearing aid. But he still inspired me to be a better person each day. Nothing could be said differently of Harmon as he played his final game in life. He was a gentleman to the end, always composed, never complaining, always concerned for his caregivers. People keep saying to me that I was such a good caregiver. If only you could have seen what I was blessed to have seen. I was but a humble student in the presence of a greatness that I never thought possible on this earth, a graciousness that we only read about in books. I was truly honored to be his caregiver. He left me inspired, awed, amazed, and humbled beyond belief. I remember a reporter calling Harmon when Jim Tomei passed his record of 573 home runs. I thought, well, that's not very nice. Harmon said, records are meant to be broken. Regarding all his health setbacks and his final leaving of this life, I'm sure he would simply say, but that's what makes life worth living. I've borrowed one more intimate and very special moment to share with you from a son-in-law. Just a day before his passing, daughter Shawn was holding her dad in the bedroom, and they were listening to Harmon's favorite Frank Sinatra tunes. Shawn whispered to him, "Dad, you are my favorite dance partner. You could really dance," and he really could. Harmon smiled, put his arms around Shawn, and said softly, "I can't sing too much, but I can still dance a little." Harmon's toes tapped and danced in the air at the foot of his bed to the music in his head, slightly swinging back and forth to the beat. And then he finished the song with Frankie, and one more for the road. Now, words truly from my heart. Thank you for loving my husband. Thank you for healing his heart and his soul. Thank you for sharing him with me and giving so much to him so that he had so much to give back to all of us. You all helped to make an amazing man, an incredible human being. Harmon's body is at rest in his hometown of Payette. His soul is at peace in that big ballpark in the sky, but his heart will always be here in Minnesota with you. And to you, Harmon, I want to say, you didn't lose this game of life. You lived it completely. And yet again, you taught us something. This time, how to go out with grace, dignity, compassion, and class. You were, and you will always be, a Minnesota twin. There is one final thing I would like to ask of you, his fans, who are really his twins' family. Watching cancer take the life and decimate the body of a loved one is an incredibly difficult experience. Shortly after Harmon's diagnosis in December, I knew we needed a second opinion, but I didn't know where to go, how to get it, or how fast we needed to get there. As you can imagine, my mind was consumed with shock, grief, and the horror of this cancer diagnosis. Out of seemingly nowhere, Commissioner Bud Selig's assistant phoned and said the commissioner was sending a plane for us to fly to UCLA. for a second consul. I told her I was overwhelmed with the commissioner's generous gesture, and I would check with Harmon to make sure that is what he wanted to do. Mary sweetly but firmly replied, "Oh no, you don't understand. There will be a plane for you there tomorrow at noon, and you two will be on it." In LA, we were introduced to a dynamic and beautiful woman, Rusty Robinson, representing Stand Up to Cancer. Although Major League Baseball supports Stand Up to Cancer, Harmon and I were not familiar with it. Harmon knew immediately it was something he wanted to embrace. It gave him hope, not just for himself, but for a future of cancer-free lives for his loved ones. If you aren't familiar with this organization, on behalf of Harmon and I, please become familiar with it. Stand Up to Cancer raises research money for cures to all kinds of cancer, but they throw a little curveball into the game. Hang on. In order to receive these research funds, the scientists, researchers, doctors, and institutions have to participate on dream teams and share their data and results with everyone. Through this open participation of data and research findings, incredible strides are being made toward advancements in all types of cancer treatments and even cures. Won't it be wonderful when one day soon, esophageal cancer will be one of them? Please join me today in one final tribute to Harmon by standing up to cancer. Please stand. Family, friends, fans, stand up to cancer. Let's make a difference, not just for Harmon, for everyone who has been and will be affected by this disease. Thank you. Thank you.
To another time, 4th of July in '69. My pop dropped the top on the Pontiac, and we drove on down Cedar Avenue to the place where the home runs flew. We had a few miles left to go. I heard Halsey Hall on the radio. With the volume down, I was so near I could hear the sound of that rumble in the air. Harmon Killebrew, did you ever get my letter? 10 pages of clear blue sky. Used to hate to hear my dad complain about the way the world has changed, and now I find that I'm doing the same as the years go by. Well, I went back to the prairie, to the diamond ground, for one last look before they tore it down, so they could put up a mall with a merry-go-round. Like Someone turn the volume down. Oh, I just wanna hear the sound of Sunday afternoons. Harmon Killebrew, did you ever get my letter? 10 pages of clear blue sky, green diamonds and days gone by. Wonder why those days are going, going, gone, going, gone. Harmon Killebrew, did you ever get my letter? 10 pages of clear blue sky. Harmon Killebrew, I need things to get better. These days are going, going. Those days are going, going, gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, now batting for the Minnesota Twins, the first baseman, number 3, Harmon Killebrew.